So in this video, we'll be creating a simple authentication form which contains the login and the sign up form in just a single file. So we are going to use the stack, React.js and the Tailwind CSS. So hereby we have the login form which contains the email address and the password, the login button and the toggle button, which is don't have an account, so click here. So whenever you click on the click here button, so it will toggle the form. So here it contains the create accounts, the name input form, the email address and the password and the create account form. So along I'm going to teach you step by step on how I created this. Imported the folder which is alt page, so and then we are going to install the React packages, which is npm create byte at latest. So this is loading. So here is asking us to add the package name, so let us add the alt page. So and then let's choose React, let's choose javascript and then install with npm. So now it is installing our dependencies. So while that is loading, so let's come over to our Chrome browser. So let's add the Tailwind CSS website. So here I'm going to install the Tailwind CSS. So here is the, we have already gone through this process. So let's just copy this install prompt. So and then let's come back to our, so this is still installing, so let's wait till it is done. So now our project has been installed successfully. So if we click on this link, so it will direct us to the server. So let's come by, so this is the default code. So but before that, let's stop the browser. So let's install the Tailwind CSS. So I'm going to paste the prompt over here and then click on enter. So while this is loading, so we are going to move on to the next step. So we are not going to waste time. So the next step is this byte.config. So we are going to copy these 2 lines. So we are going to add these 2 lines. So let's come over to the config. Over here we are going to paste the line here. So after this here, we are going to add the enter, we are going to add the Tailwind. So that's that. So the next step, let's come over to the website. So over here in the general CSS, let's add import to your CSS file and import the Tailwind CSS. So over here, let's open this folder. So in this index.css, we are going to clear the default code and then paste the import. So let's save that. So while this is loading, let's clear all the default code. So we are going to delete this app.css, don't need it anymore, and then this app.js, we are going to clear everything and then write this array fc. So now our Tailwind has been installed. So now we have to install one more thing, which is the Lucid icon. Like npm I is means install, so Lucid React. Let's click on enter. So while let's delete all these images, so we don't need it anymore. And then I think that, so let's just move this line. So let's wait while the package is installed. So now our package has been installed. So let's start the browser, which is npm run dev. So if you come over to our browser over here, So if you just reload this page, so as you can see now, the page is already blank. So now let's start the, so while let me split the screen so you can use the, so this is over here. So in this app.js, so let me just create a component. So inside this asset, I'm going to create a folder which is the component. So inside the component, we are going to have the file which is auth.tsx. So let me write RFC. So this RFC is a snippet. So when the option is not showing on your screen, so you have to install the snippet which is the ES7 Redux. So this is over here. So ES7 React Redux React Native stuff. So that's that. If you install it, so the option will be shown in your code. So that's also, let's link this auth with this app.js. So over here, let's hide it. So the auth. So let's save. So let's come back to the auth page. Let me remove this. Let me reload the page. Okay, so now it's already showing the auth test. So over here, let me drag this. So this is the preview of this. So let's close the terminal right now. So over here, let's use the fragment. So now let's create a div. So inside the div, we have an h1 test. Okay, sorry, we have a span. So inside the span, we are going to add an icon that will serve as the logo. So let me just add the icon. So you are going to add the zap icon from Lucid. So it has been imported. So I will save. So you should see the icon over here. This is the icon. So now let's style this. So let's come to the app.js first. So over here, let's add the class name. Let's add the flex, justify content center, items center. So let's add the background color to the BG of, let's use indigo 400. So and then let's use the main height of screen. So that's that. So now let's come over here. So over here, you have to have the class name. You have to add the flex. You have to have the width of, so let's just add 40. Let's use 80. So the rounded LG. Let's add the BG of white. So let's add the padding of 2.5. So inside the, so with this part tab we have the class name. So we are going to add the flex. So I'm going to add the justify content center, item center. I'm going to add the height of 20, the width of 20. So you are going to have the BG of white. Sorry, BG of, let's use the indigo, or let's use a gradient color. So let's use the linear gradient let's use the linear position of 150. So from that will be from indigo of 500 to indigo of 800. So let's save that. So let's add the rounded to Excel. So let's use the text white. So I think we should use the icon. So let's use the height of 15 and the width of 15. So and then let's move it to the center. So just add the margin X of 1. So here let's add the size of text. So that's that. So over here let's add the text, the actual text. So inside this text, this is where we are going to have the title. Maybe it is login or sign up. So over here let's create the text, the state we are going to need. So let's add the const. So let's add the sign in and set sign in. So let's use the use state false. Let's add the true. So because it is the sign in. So after that let's duplicate it. So to here let's add the name. Let's add the set name, and then let's add just a UI. I don't know why this is bringing an issue. Okay, let me move this comma. So let me save it. There is an error. I don't know. Let me check. So let me move this comma over here. So that's the error over here. So let me copy this and paste. So over here we are going to add the email. So we are going to have the set email. We are going to have the password, and then we are going to add the set password. So that's that. So over here let's add the, so this will be, let's add, so if it is signing, so let's add it signing. So it will display the sign in page. But if it is sign up, so it will display the create account. So let's save that. So over here we add the flex. So let's change the flex column. So that as you can see, we are seeing the sign. Okay, let's log in to continue. So you are seeing log to continue. So if you change this to false, so you are going to see create account. So let's return it to the sign in. So now let's style this button. So that's, let's give it the font weight of bold, or let's use the black. So and the text of regular. So and then the text center. So that's that. So let's reduce this to really bold, that's too dark. So after that, so let's add the form. So here we're going to add, let's create the div. So inside the div you are going to have a label. So let's just hide the name over here. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to use the state for this. So when we click on, so let's just follow along over here. So let's add the name.
Agora, tem position.
Let's probably the person need to that out. Pardon me, later. Baba team position, Jerry. So let's add the name. So after that you are going to add the input. So in the input you are going to have the text. So let's add the placeholder enter username. So let's use to enter full name. So let's say that. So I don't know why this is writing it on the state now, but so let's add the, so over in this div, let's add the class, let's add the flex, let's add the flex column. So let me remove this. So in this input, let me start the input. So that let's add the class name. So let's add the height of 10. So let me add the padding of 2.5. So let me add the background of slate 100. Let me do slate 200. Let me add the 100 edge. So let me add the border. Let's add the border of, let me see, gray 400. Let me reduce this to 300. So in this label, let me add some class name. So let me add the font medium. So and the Y, let me add the margin Y of this. So that's that. So now we are going to duplicate this. Okay, before that, so over here we want to, but we don't really need it because we are not storing it in a database. So let me just remove it. So if you want to let it function, well, that's when you are going to use that. So let me just duplicate this. medium, just paste it over it. So that's that. So over here, let's change this to email. Let's change to this to email address. So let me change this to enter email. So this, let me go with it. So let me change this to password. So let me change this also to password. Let me just to password. So that's that. So let's create the button. Click the button. So I'm going to have the button right here. So that button I'm going to have the condition, which is if it is signing. So it will show the text login. But if it is sign up, so it will show the create account. So now let me start the button. Let me use the group 500. This is the text white. So let me use the rounded LG. Let me use the justify center item center. Let me use the height of 10. So and then let me add the cursor pointer, the over. Let me add the PG of. Let me add the PG of indigo. Then make this is to 300. So whenever I hover on the button, so it will fade off. So that's so now let's hide this input when it is switched to sign up. So over here at the end of this button, let me add the text here. Let me add the p tag. So every tag I'm going to use the condition. So inside the condition I'm going to make it so that will be if signing. So you're going to use the condition. Don't have an account. Let me just add that. So for that, let me use this. Don't have an so and then if it is sign up, so it will display the text already so that's that. So let me start the text. I'm going to use the font medium. So at the front of the text, I'm going to add a span button. This is the span for the button. So in the span, I'm going to add the click here. So let me just add the class. Let me just the text. Let me just equal 500, and then the font of reading, and then underline. So let me just add the cursor pointer. So now let me add an on-click event over. So over here, let me just add the on-click. So here we are going to talk. We are going to assign a function. So that will be the set signing. So we are going to use the stock effect. So let me just add the sign in. So let me see. So whenever I click on this button, can you see? So the text and the button and this text above here is changing. So now let's hide the inputs. So over here for the login, we only need the email address and the password. So let's just come over to this name. So let's add this. So you're going to add the sign in. So let's add that means not signing. So it's going to show this content. So we are going to move this into the brackets over here. So let's save that. So whenever we click on this, can we see it's hide the button, and if we click on this, so it shows the button. So that's how to create a simple form page, a simple login and sign in page, just a file. So if this video is really helpful, kindly click on the subscribe button so you can get updated on our next video. And if you want me to do any tutorial about a course or a particular project, so you can let me know in the comment section. So see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.